So we all know Hollywood loves a remake. They've been feeding us a steady diet of remakes for years. But recently they seem to have picked up a real momentum and have been knocking out remakes of just about every film made in the last 50 years. For the most part, these remakes have been awful. In fact, scratch that. They have all been awful. Whether it's the all-female Ghostbusters, the poorly judged Ben-Hur, or just the inexcusably bad and unnecessary RoboCop. They've even tried to outscare the scary with hopeless remakes of Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween. And these are to name but a few. One film that is in their remake crosshairs at the moment is none other than the Bruce Lee classic Enter the Dragon. So let's take a look at who could be in the remake, what they could do with the remake, but ultimately why there should be no remake. Could they improve anything? Well, the story isn't exactly Shakespeare, is it? But the story is Enter the Dragon, infiltrating Anne's Island, bringing down his operations, all while having a martial arts contest. That's it. So if you change it, it wouldn't be Enter the Dragon, would it? But that's not stopped them before. Just look at the 2003 version of Italian Job, nothing like the original. Or the 2012 version of Total Recall, once again, very little in common with the original. So they could change the story, I suppose. As long as you still had the contest, the drug operations, the island, Han. Hold on, that's the original story. Maybe they'll just tweak it a little. Maybe they could include better fight scenes. Well, this I could go with, because the fight scenes in Enter the Dragon weren't exactly the best. In fact, they weren't even Bruce Lee's best. So yes, they could probably improve the fight scenes. So suppose they've got all that sorted, a good story, and the best fight choreographer in the business. Then what? Well, who is going to execute these fight scenes? Who could they cast in this remake that would make it just as memorable as the original? For John Saxon, you could go with Jason Statham. He's an accomplished action star. He's proven himself more than capable of providing a good fight scene. But I don't think he's quite right. Personally, I would give this guy a shot. The Green Arrow himself, Stephen Amell. He's proven time and time again that he's good in an action scene, he's good in a fight scene, he can hold his own, and he's a pretty good actor. So I don't think he'll have a problem pulling this off. But who could fill the great Jim Kelly's shoes? Who could be as memorable as Jim Kelly? Now, conversations about this with friends have resulted in names like Will Smith, Michael B. Jordan being thrown into the ring. But in my mind, there's only one person who could come close to filling Kelly's shoes. And that's this guy.
Who's that? I'm looking for Nipsey.
There's no Nipsey here.
That's right, Black Dynamite himself, Michael Jai White. As you just saw in that clip, he's already proven himself capable of pulling off the all-round 70s blaxploitation star in his perfect 70s homage Black Dynamite. And he's also proven himself more than capable of performing martial arts.
And Billy, how many times I told you not to call here and interrupt my kung fu?
But could he pull this off?
I'll take you, darling. And you. And you. And you.
Well, let's ask someone.
Oh, Dynamite, you're so righteous.
This is also true.
That may be a yes. And Arrow fans will have seen both these actors paired up in recent episodes. Now onto the main man. Who could fill Bruce Lee's shoes? Back in the 70s, Lee was big business. Kung fu films were all the rage. Now, not so much. There are no big-name martial arts stars. There are semi-well-known people like Donnie Yen, perhaps, or maybe Tony Jaa if you think Donnie is a little bit too old. But ask the regular moviegoer, and they probably wouldn't have a clue. And that's not a good thing for the main star of a major Hollywood film. So even if they cast someone who was a good fighter and an half-convincing actor, the audience would still compare him to Bruce Lee, and not in a good way. They may hit a bump in the remake road with this one. But ultimately, they will cast someone, maybe someone good. So after all this, what's left? What was the icing that finished off the Enter the Dragon cake? Fight scenes weren't that memorable. Story was okay. The cast were excellent. But what really made it so memorable a film that it sticks with the audience even today? The only thing left is the script. And there you have it. You talk to anyone who grew up loving this film and they will be able to quote you line for line all day long. Lines like this.
Don't think. Feel.
Or maybe even this.
What's your style? My style? You can call it the art of fighting without fighting.
Or even this.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
So how could they possibly write a better script when the original is so indelibly imprinted on everyone's mind?
Oh, don't hit back.
To be frank,
I'll be too busy looking good.
they can't. With inevitable failure ahead of them should they proceed. Of course not. But will they? Of course they will.
Bullshit, Mr. Handman.
They already have a director in the form of Deadpool 2, an upcoming Fast and Furious spin-off, Hobbs and Shaw director David Leitch. Directing this, though, may be a decision he comes to regret. Till next time.